Hey everyone, and welcome to Module 7. This has been a great semester with all of you, and I hope that you've each gotten something meaningful and powerful out of the course and our time together. I want to just spend a few moments going over the assignments for Module 7 and also just some end of semester reflections to help kind of carry you forward, hopefully after today's class. So, in terms of Module 7, it is focused on the current policy environment, right? So, the readings that you'll have this week, the content from the lecture and in Canvas will all be focused on giving you a deeper understanding for social change efforts that are underway right now and will, I think, feel very relevant for many of you because it is still very much so a season of significant change and social justice efforts in a number of areas, including racial justice, including the pandemic response and health disparities. There's a lot that's happening in our country and more broadly in our world that I think many of you will likely feel has deep connections to what you've been learning about all semester, just in terms of how large social change and policy change efforts happen. What you'll do for assignments this week are two things. So you have to approach these both, I think, very creatively, and hopefully that's comforting after having a semester of needing to write the papers in APA formatting and things of that nature. So for both of the assignments this week, they do not need to be in APA format, okay? Your first assignment is going to be the final installment, if you will, of your social change project. You need to do in 1 to 2 pages a policy brief that summarizes everything you've learned about the population that you've been focused on throughout the course of the semester. So you're going to describe the population to an audience that is intended to be folks that you're working with, peers that you, again, would sort of maybe share this brief with to kind of demonstrate what you've learned about this population. So you're going to need to describe the population very clearly in the same way that you have. And you can reuse content from any of the modules. You don't need to start from scratch in terms of researching the population. That's what you've been doing all semester. So look back on your prior assignments, describe the strengths, the characteristics, the barriers, protective factors, right? Just describe the population in a meaningful way and then give the policy context for that population. So let your audience, which again is intended to be folks that you might be working with, it could be in your field practice, it could be at your job, give the policy context. So, what I mean by that is talk maybe a bit historically about what some of the policies are or laws are that really impact this population. And then it's going to be great if you end on describing policy changes that you would recommend, right? Again, just 1 to 2 pages and a real chance to demonstrate and reflect back everything that you've learned this semester. There are several examples of what a policy brief can look like that are given in the module. I've had students submit like a couple PowerPoint slide decks because they can add graphics and format it a little more creatively. Because again, this does not need to be in APA formatting. So have fun with the assignment, make it impactful, and again, summarize the population and the policy context for the population, again, without worrying about APA formatting. The next thing that you'll do is it's called a testimony poem. So the intention for this is for you to read through several different testimonies that are in that module assignment description. So you'll see a link to several different readings. Some reflect on slavery, some reflect on the pandemic. You can select several of them and write down words, about 15 to 20 words that are like really standing out to you as you're reading through those testimonies, and then put them together. You can repeat them. You don't have to use every word that you select, but write down those words as you're reading through them, like what's resonating with you, what feels powerful, and then put those words together in a poem of your creation with a title. Again, not in APA formatting, but a chance to, I think, in this assignment, really reflect on how the voices of people that are experiencing and being impacted by the policy changes that we're talking about are so important to shine through in any sort of policy work that you're doing. So those are the final two assignments. Again, neither need to be in APA formatting. The first is a policy brief and the second is a poem. You have all, again, put in a tremendous amount of work throughout the semester. I recognize that everyone is juggling multiple courses, potentially demands of home life, professional life, a lot going on. And so I appreciate everyone that's showed up as much as possible each and every week and given all that they can to the assignments. You've chosen some really interesting topics. I've learned a lot through all the research and writing that you've done. And I hope that this class has left you with a sense of connection to why policy matters for social workers, regardless of what type of social work you're practicing, right? Whether or not you are doing casework or group work or individual therapy or policy work or admin, all of us as social workers are impacted and as human beings are impacted by policy every single day in ways that we see and ways that we don't. And so, our ability as social workers to empower the vulnerable populations that we work with, to be engaged ourselves in deepening our understanding of advocacy and policy work and showing up for that work in partnership with the clients that we serve is one of the most fundamental values of NASW and something that all of us should be striving to do in our practice as much as we can. There is a follow-up course to this that I have taught before. I don't know that I'll be teaching it when it's next offered. That's up to the school, but there's a class called it's Social Work 6210. I think this was 6201. So 6210 is kind of like the advanced policy course. And the author of the textbook one of the textbooks that you had this semester, Dr. Shannon Lane, who was also one of my professors many years ago back in social work school, she teaches at Yeshiva. And so she is also one of the instructors for both that course and then for other courses, again, around policy research in a couple different areas. So all of that to say, you have access to more learning about this policy practice if it interests you. That is available at Yeshiva, and I am always here, available via email that you've all got in case you want to reach out afterwards, because I just love to hear how folks are using the content. So thank you all again for all of your hard work. Best of luck to you with whatever is next for you, and talk to you later.